Okay,
Oh,
so
well.
I'm recording now.
Okay, cool. I'm recording too.
You've been recording.
Yeah,
Did you grab your Pepsi?
I did. I'm a thirsty
Your... Did you grab your poopsie?
hoe. What? My peepsy?
My mom, or like, it might not be my mom, it might be my family in general, but instead of saying grab, sometimes we say grav with a V.
It's good
Because
to know
I-
that your entire family is the same as you.
Yeah, we're fucking weird. I think it's because either me or my brother, like, pronounced it wrong as a kid, so they're like, ah, yes, I will grab that for you. Like, low-key making fun of us, but, like, you know, whatever.
That's fun.
Oh, where did you get the music for the pilot? Was it just like free YouTube shit?
It's the soundtrack to the video game Taz Wanted.
Is that allowed?
Look. Maybe.
Is that allowed?
Probably not.
We should definitely go with like some free YouTube shit.
I
in the
mean,
future.
yeah. It was just like, I want to explain to you, like, what my thought process was.
Okay.
What my process was for editing the podcast last night. I checked my email. I saw the email, and it said, "Do you have an episode?" And I said, "Yes, we have an episode. We have an episode." Just frantic
Panic.
Yeah, like I was.
I wish I still had the footage from, or maybe not footage. I don't care.
We
Whatever.
can say footage. It's whatever. I make fun of you on the pilot, but it's fine.
Yeah, we have the. I wish I had the files from the 2 episodes that we recorded before.
As far as I know, we only
But-
recorded one other episode.
I thought there was 2. I thought I had.
Maybe
I thought I had some labeled as 1 and 2.
I could only find one, which I labeled Fat Elmer in my The pilot was called Ghost Nay. I don't know why.
I thought it was called Leo's Very Good Joke. I thought it was like Leo's Very Good Video Game Joke because like
It
last
should have
episode, the pilot episode really was just like a 20-minute history lesson leading up to a not super great joke.
been. It was kind of funny. I thought it was funny.
It was interesting.
I definitely was like listening back. I was like, okay, I know I've heard this joke before, but I have no clue where this is going.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like, because it's been like 3 months, so I was just like, I wonder where he's going with this. Where's this building up to?
I'm
And then it
honored
was
that
a
you like
speed
sat
running
through it and listened to it rather than just like scrubbing through the audio. I was like, okay.
Well, I had to make sure
when are we
that
done.
I had to make sure I didn't say something about like
Oh, no.
or whatever. Like in the
Yeah,
midst
that
of
would
it, like,
suck.
it's like the Fox and the Hound where we're like we're Copper and Todd are like best friends. Ah, yeah, we're best friends, and we always will be. Like
Smash cut to one of them fucking dead.
no one dies in Fox and the Hound.
I legitimately thought that one of the characters died in that
You
movie.
have
Like,
some-
I know it's sad.
You have some like crazy false memories about the Fox and the Hound. It's wild.
I don't actually think I've seen the movie.
That's crazy.
I think I've seen, like, trailers for it on VHSs of other Disney movies that I've seen, but I don't think
Sounds
I've
about
actually
right.
seen that movie.
Sounds about right.
I feel like that's my relationship to, like, most movies.
I want to tell you, because you recently watched An American Tail.
Oh god, I totally forgot that I had watched American Tail recently.
Well, it's funny because like I was explaining sort of like I guess sort of an elevator pitch for like An American Tail. I'm like, yeah, it's a Jewish Russian immigrant mouse family, like during the Cossacks and whatever. And you were like, that's incredibly interesting. And I was like, yeah, but it's mostly about like a kid being sad trying to get back to his family.
Yeah.
And you were like, but that metaphor is so interesting. And then like,
Yeah.
it's mostly just Fievel farting around with Tiger, the vegetarian cat.
Yeah, the movie was not...
But anyway, I bring it up because you said VHS, like a trailer on a VHS tape, and it reminded me like of all of those times I saw like witness the magic and mystery and adventure of An American Tale. Like make it sound like it's this fun wacky adventure when it's this incredibly depressing. Like it's very sad. It's a very like sad movie. By
It
and
is
large.
kind... Yeah, I mean, like...
Like, the stuff with,
Honestly,
like, Fievel is, like, very, like, oh, that's heavy. And then there's all the stuff with, like, the bit where Tanya, like, has to get her name changed and the dad's, like, crying about it. Like,
yeah.
shit's heavy.
Yeah, that sucks.
I watched, like, little bits of it lately in a video essay, and I was like, damn, this movie's, like, deep when it's not doing the Dom DeLuise cat.
Yeah.
I love Dom DeLuise, but...
He was when we were watching it, Tyler was like, oh, it was that guy, Dom or Don?
It's Dom.
With an M. Okay.
Yeah.
Dom DeLuise, like, Tyler recognized the voice. It was like, oh, that was the Crow from Secret of Nim.
He's in, like,
Jeremy.
Yeah, he's in almost every Don Bluth movie, I think, except for he's not in Land Before Time, and I don't think he's in Rockadoodle.
Yeah, I don't think he missed out much on not being in Rockadoodle.
But he did miss out on, he was, like, the main character in A Troll in Central Park.
Oh, he was the troll?
Yeah, he was the troll.
No, he voiced Central Park.
He voiced in...
Ah, yes, the pivotal character in...
A Troll in Central Park. It's like
the Three Stooges, but they have just, like, really weird names.
It's like me and Earl and the Dying Girl, but it's a troll in Central Park.
Oh my god. Okay, so
joke.
shall we intro?
We should clap.
We should clap in.
Yeah, because we just had some gold. We did clearly.
Did we decide that I just do the intro? Or do you want to switch off?
You can do the intro. It's fine. I'm bad at introing, I feel.
Okay. I think I handled it decently.
You did, yeah, when you weren't, like, being like, oh, no, I don't know if I can. I'm just giving you an exceedingly hard time for no reason.
So podcast, huh?
Podcast, yeah. Let's podcast. So,
let's fucking do it.
Yeah. Are you doing the intro? Or did we already do the intro?
We did not do the intro yet. We can't even do that right.
Man.
Because we're fucking stupid.
Lunar Light will never hire us now. Because
Lunar
we're
Light hates
big
us.
dummies.
Lunar Light's like, sorry about that. You're
we-
too stupid.
You're not welcome because you're too dumb.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Best Boys Podcast, a show that's by film students, but not just for film students. I'm your host, Leo.
And I'm the other one, Jessie.
So, full disclosure,
It has been 3 months.
since our pilot.
3 entire months.
3 calendar months. 3 Gregorian months.
For y'all, it's only been a very short amount of time. But for us, it has been 3 months.
A lot has happened in 3 months, such as we recorded our pilot for our podcast, and I think 2 extra episodes, but Jesse says it was only 1.
I think it
don't
was
know.
only 1.
Regardless.
Because I was very sick while I was recording the pilot and when we were recording the other episode. And then you were like, hey, do you want to record more? And I was like, I'm very ill.
Yeah,
and very
you know what? I
behind in
remember that.
schoolwork.
I do remember that. So we had...
I was flunking all of my classes, but then I wasn't. So that was fun.
Zoinks. I'm glad you didn't flunk your classes.
Me too. It would have been awful if I did.
But we had like an extra episode in the can, but due to various setbacks and my computer just like completely shitting itself.
My computer also shat itself. And is continuing to shit itself. It literally crashed before we started recording.
That's an awesome sign.
Yeah. Good,
so,
it got that out of the way. But hopefully it doesn't crash midway through.
I reformatted my computer and I backed up all of the files that I thought were important and then factory reset it. But I think the audio that I recorded for the other episode was not included in the backup, so we lost that episode. So that sucks. But we're starting anew at the beginning of the spring 2019 semester. So I guess for the sake of like at least some continuity, let's go back and talk about what we did last semester and how we finished it out, and then we can talk about what we're doing this semester. So,
that's right. We did. The other episode we recorded was going to be us. Was us talking about the classes we were taking that semester.
Yeah,
and what those are like. And
so I guess
that's
in
the
order
one that
to
got
like,
lost forever.
So I guess in order to like continue with that and just like have everything relatively chronological, and also I just did some cool stuff last semester that I want to talk about on here for posterity. So I guess we can talk about how we finish out the semester, and then we could talk about things that we're excited about for this year and this spring. So you go first, because I've been talking a lot. So you go ahead and talk about what you've been doing.
Last semester was a bad time for me, personally and school-wise. Oh, excuse me. I'm gonna cut that out, definitely. I might not have to now, because like, that's apparently very funny. What?
I feel like the phrase, I'm gonna cut that out, is gonna be like, very...
It's gonna be said so many times over the next like hour or so, and I'm gonna cut out none of it.
That's so funny. Okay. Let's... Let's take it from the top. Sorry.
Literally, it's never gonna hire us. We are far too stupid for this.
That's what editing is for, baby.
No, I really want to keep that in as the thing. Because
no.
It was very funny. Just me burping and saying, don't worry, I'll edit it out, and then you just hysterically laughing. Okay, so last semester was a very bad time for me, personally, professionally, school-wise, just in general. I had like a really bad emotional time, like generally. I got sick like 4 times in the span of 4 months. My car kept breaking down. My computer broke a couple times. I was like dirt broke, and I had 3 roommates who I really didn't like, who were very loud. You could definitely hear a little bit of Drake in the background of our pilot because they wouldn't stop blasting their party playlist.
You mentioned as you were editing it that you could hear like your roommates like shitty trap music in the background.
Yeah, I applied like a noise filter to like try and filter it out, but it didn't go away completely.
I did not hear it, but I did listen to the pilot through my car speakers and just like through my phone speakers. So I didn't have it like in my ears through like
true.
Yeah, I didn't have like headphones or anything, so I didn't hear it, but I don't know if that would be the case for if you were listening to it like directly into your skull. So
while I was editing it, there's definitely a bit where I heard like muffled in the background, like Kiki, do you love me? Are you right? Like just straight up like, shut up, Drake, get out of here.
That's really funny.
Just very muffled, just in my feelings, but muffled at a distance.
So last semester sucked, but did you do anything interesting for like finals? Like, did you have like a final project that you had to do that was cool?
Not really cool per se. I had to like do another live broadcast thing for my TV production class, but I got a pretty good grade on that. I got like a 89, I think, on that.
That's cool. That's
and I got
solid.
a B overall in the class, so I'll take it. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, there wasn't any like final stuff that was like very interesting because I didn't take very interesting classes is the thing. My classes this semester are far more interesting and more connected to my major. So I don't really have much to say about my classes aside from they weren't very good by and large.
Yeah, I think it's funny because last semester I had 2 film classes and I was doing projects for those classes very often and like that's like what occupied most of my time. This semester, however, I'm only taking 3 classes, and only one of them is like animation and film based. So I don't think I will have as much to talk about for this semester. But it's cool that you're actually doing like more screenwriting and like script stuff. That's cool that you have like you will have projects and stuff to discuss on the podcast, probably more so than I will, but I have currently I'm taking a storyboarding class, so that'll be something that I can talk about and flesh out on this podcast, so that's neat.
Yeah. Also, for the record, in the pilot, I very clearly said, I don't know what I want to do, because I thought it was screenwriting, but it's not anymore. It is screenwriting. That was just me going through a bad phase, but now I'm like, nah, I definitely want to screenwrite. Like, that's definitely absolutely what I want to do. So
yeah, that's cool that you like figured that out relatively quickly, but that doesn't mean you can't like experiment with other shit too.
Oh,
like...
for sure. Like, I definitely still want to experiment with other things, but like that's still like, I do know what I want to do now.
Yeah,
which is good because like at the point when I was recording the pilot, I was like, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just lost and sad.
I feel like having like I want to do this in your mind might, I don't know, it might make it more difficult for you to try new things and really connect with it, because like I guess you have that like in the back of your mind, it's like stopping you from like fully committing to something new, because it's like, oh well, I am going to school for this, but I just like doing this as a hobby. But
that's true. For me, it was like I need a sort of a purpose in life, I feel, and like not knowing what that purpose is like completely horrifying for me.
Yeah.
So like having I'm gonna be a screenwriter, like, just nailed down makes me way more calm about that.
Yeah, that makes sense.
As opposed to just being like, I want to do something in film, but I don't know what. Like, that doesn't make me feel great.
I'm, like, okay with that feeling, because it makes me just, like, I don't know, I think it motivates me to learn more, and it motivates me to, like, keep other things in mind and, like, figure out, like, other things that I could do to see what I want to do. Like, my storyboarding class right now, I don't know if I really want to be a storyboarder. I don't know if I like it that much. But to be fair, we've only done, like, one project so far, and it was, like, relatively short and, like, simple.
We are still very young in the semester.
That's true. I feel like it's been, like, a month, and it really hasn't. But, yeah, so I'm not sure if storyboarding is something that I would want to do for sure, but it's what I'm doing now, so I might as well enjoy it, I guess. Last semester, I finished out my my 2 film classes, my beginning film class and my stop motion class, and I finished out the semester with my final projects that I have yet to upload to YouTube yet. I still need to do that. But now that my laptop is running better, I might do that later today, actually. But I finished my final projects for both of those classes are for my beginning film class, our last project was also a stop motion film. So I was doing 2 stop motion films at the same time, and it was a lot. I was very stressed out. But my partner and I, for my stop motion class, I was pretty happy with what we did. We got 100, so whatever.
Nice.
And then I think I think I was able to experiment with a lot of stuff that I wouldn't have done in my stop motion class for my other project. Like, I did, like, hand-drawn stuff, and I messed around with a green screen. It did not work. I wound up not doing it. But I feel like I got to play around with more stuff, like voiceover work and, like, puppet building and stuff, than I would have done in my other class. So I feel like I learned some cool shit, and I think I made some cool shit. And I was in 2 film festivals last semester, so that was cool. They were both hosted by the school, but that was, like, a cool opportunity to be a part of. So that's basically how I finished out my semester.
Nice, yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm like pretty happy with all the stuff that I did in the fall, but I feel like spring is gonna be a little more. Anyway.
Yeah.
So what are you doing this semester? Because I already kind of talked about what I'm doing.
Yeah, so this semester I'm taking a documentary film class, which is more about watching documentaries than like how to make a documentary per se, but we are kind of learning like the fundamentals of like what goes into making a documentary, like how to do an interview and sort of like how to edit it and do reenactments and things. We're also watching some mockumentaries in the class, which is very fun, and I love mockumentaries, which we absolutely should do an episode on at some point, because I love mockumentaries. I think they're super fun.
That's like The Office is like a mockumentary style show, right?
It's styled like that. I don't know if it is a mockumentary. or something like, say, American Vandal. Which is a
Yeah,
very good
yeah.
show on Netflix that everyone should watch. Or This is Spinal Tap. The Lonely Island did a movie a couple years ago called Pop Star Never Stop, Never Stopping,
Yeah, yeah. I do.
which is a fantastic movie.
You told me and Sasha about that. That's really funny.
Yeah. We watched a documentary in class called Best in Show, which is about dog trainers and dog competitions and whatever, and like it's very silly and like kind of like the extremes that like those kind of people like are and go to like have like be in dog shows and whatever.
Yeah. I like
Just like
dog
the kind
shows.
of ego that they have.
I like dog shows just because I get to see dogs, but like the culture surrounding it sounds fucking horrible.
Yeah,
It sounds like
like-
this just like miasma of pretentiousness, and I can't deal with that. That's too
Yeah.
much.
It's a lot. But also like we're watching like actual serious documentaries, and I was expecting more of like nature documentary kind of things, like we'd be watching like Planet Earth and whatever. It's more The Thin Blue Line was the first one we watched this semester,
Oh wow.
which
Yeah, God.
I didn't love, and not because it wasn't well made. It was very well made, but it's not a very fun movie particularly.
Yeah. I would have definitely expected like Ken Burns' Civil War.
I think we are watching a Kim Burns thing at some point.
Ken Burns is like, he's up there. Like he's definitely like a renowned documentarian.
He's like very well renowned. I think we're also watching Band of Brothers, which is not documentary, but it's like a biopic kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be interesting. Aside from that, I'm taking the interpreting popular culture, which isn't necessarily like film related, although it is kind of. It's more, I think, music and just entertainment and culture as a whole. Like we did a bit recently about like, it's more like in class discussions, and there was a bit where like the professor asked us like, he showed us like a Christmas for like a commercial for like a Christmas sale, but it kept saying like, check out this holiday sale at this store, you know, only at JCPenney's, and it's like showing all this like Christmas stuff, but at no point does it say Christmas anywhere. And he wasn't like doing like a there's a war on Christmas kind of thing, but it was sort of a, why do we do that if we're only selling Christmas stuff? Like,
Yeah, like
why not
you're being like woke by saying holidays rather than Christmas, but you are not showing other holidays.
it's very interesting. Like, there's no like Hanukkah merchandise or Kwanzaa or like even some like, you know, sort of joke holidays like Festivus or whatever. Like, there's none of that.
Saturnalia.
Yeah, like
That'd be fun.
It's just only like Christmas things. But like it just keeps saying our holiday sale this holiday season, and it ends like Christmas Eve. Like, you know, like bit on the nose. Aren't
Yeah.
we Walmart? You know, like I just thought that was kind of interesting.
Aren't we, Walmart? I'm looking at you, Walmart.
Taking on big brands, one Walmart at a time.
I'm gonna fist fight Walmart. I'm gonna physically fight the concept of Walmart.
Catch me in the parking lot throwing hands with Jeff Bezos.
I had a friend that would tweet at Jeff Bezos and just straight up ask for him to like give her $1 million.
Oh my God.
She made like a separate Twitter account just to like hound Jeff Bezos for money. It was really funny.
I have a friend, I told you about this, who after the H-Bomber Guy live stream, where he raised a bunch of money for, like a trans charity in the UK, which is very cool.
Yeah, and
I
we
have a
super
friend.
just like dated this episode, huh?
Yeah, it's whatever.
Yeah, I don't actually care.
This was a couple weeks ago anyway, but regardless, I have a friend who, this all came about because of a guy called Grant Linehan, or Graham Linehan, who is a very like turfy, like anti-trans kind of person who like tried to get the attention of like the UK government to like not fund or the charity or something. The charity's called Mermaids, by the way, which you should definitely donate to. They're a very good charity. So whenever he like would like tweet things during the stream, whenever Graham Linehan would like tweet things during the stream, my friend would like reply to that tweet with something like this is a very weird way for you to ask to suck on my toes, Graham.
Oh my
and just,
god.
Like, every time he would tweet anything, she would just be like, "Come on, my little toe slut. We all know it's what you really want," or whatever. Like just
My little toe slut?
just continuously pestering him, just trying to suck her toes. It was
Direct action. That's so funny.
My friend threw the first toe at Stonewall.
Oh my god.
I love her. She's great.
Why is the charity called Mermaids, by the way? I was curious about that. Do you know?
I don't know. But they're a very good charity. And they do things for like kids who suffer from gender dysphoria, which is cool. We can cut like this out, or we can leave it in. Who knows? It's fine. I'll just burp directly into the mic, like I did last time. So now I have to leave it in.
Oh my god.
For the context.
So your screenwriting class, right?
Yeah, and then there's my screenwriting class, which is very cool. I really like it. There's one kid in it that I really don't like, who's like working on a script that I think is about a woman being assaulted, which isn't cool.
Yeah, that sucks. You've told me about this dude. He sounds like a real wiener.
Which is not super great. But I'm working on a lesbian superhero rom-com, which is very fun.
You sure are.
We can definitely talk about that in another episode, because I would love to get into that. And,
yeah, that sounds cool.
Bounce ideas off of you and figure out little things from there.
When is that project due? Is that due like later on?
At the end of the semester. The entire semester is built around like it's a bunch of like little assignments. Like I did this for this screenplay. I did like this, you know. Like I have a character bio, you know, for one of the characters in the thing.
So you have like checkpoints, but you're working on like the same thing all semester. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. Yeah, I feel like personally I would rather have like a couple of different projects just so I could have like more of a body of work, but that is really cool.
Yeah, I think, for something like say like screenwriting, I feel like that's sort of a good way to go about that, I feel. Although he did have us like get used to screenwriting software called Celtex, which is very useful for like screenplay formatting, because screenplay formatting is very specific and particular, and
it's pretty weird. Yeah, I don't think I would be able to format it off the top of my head for sure.
I've been using like Google Docs and like Microsoft Word for like years to try and like format it correctly, and I keep like getting things wrong over and over again. So like this is very helpful. But he had us like do a scene from like a movie that was on like the website of like a list of movies that we can like watch or whatever as like reference material. So we had to like transcribe a scene from that into script format, and I did the scene from Toy Story where Woody and Buzz like have a fight in Andy's car, and then they have like the "You are a toy."
Oh, that one. Okay.
Yeah, and then it was from like them pulling up to the gas station to Buzz saying, "You are a sad, strange little man, and you have my pity. Farewell." Which is a very good line.
What a raw fucking line. Like,
I love Toy Story so much.
Like, Buzz Lightyear just fucking dragged Woody so hard. Buzz Lightyear snatched Woody's wig. So
he snatched his cowboy hat.
Oh my god.
Hey, look, I'm Woody. Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Ha ha. Ha ha ha. Give me that. What a great movie.
It's fantastic. I love it. So
what aren't you in 4 classes? Do you have other 2?
My one other class is I'm in 4 classes. The other one is advertising graphics. Which doesn't have anything to do with filmmaking. It's more like how to use like Photoshop and Illustrator and InDesign.
That's cool.
I haven't used InDesign yet, so I'm interested to see what that is about. Illustrator kind of sucks, I feel.
I'm not a fan. I don't like working with it very much because I mostly do like freehand artwork rather than like vector-based stuff and like shape stuff. So like I'm personally not a huge fan of Illustrator, but I have not used InDesign, and I feel like I've had classes where like the teachers talk about using InDesign, but we never actually use it. So I have no idea.
Sounds about right.
Oh, this semester I'm only in one film class, or like one class that really pertains to my major, but I'm also in I'm in a 20th century art history class, and I'm in a ceramics class, and I'm losing my fucking mind in my ceramics class. It's very fun. It doesn't have anything to do with my major, or, to be honest, this podcast, but I made
whatever. Who cares?
I made 17 cups, and I love all of them. They're very cute.
They're very fun. They all have, like, fun little faces.
Yeah, I carved some leaves into one of them for Sasha, and she really likes it, so that's cool.
That's cute. I love that.
Yeah, they're actually in the kiln now. They're, like, in the kiln right now as we speak, so that's neat.
Oh, did you make one for me?
Not specifically for you, but you are welcome to any of them.
I'll take it, yeah.
Because my thing was just, like, creating enough to meet, like, the requirement, and then I just kind of decorated them randomly afterwards, so I didn't really have anybody in mind. The only reason why this cup is for Sasha is because she was there when I made it.
Yeah,
so, like, as I was, like, doing it on the wheel and, like, squelching all in the clay and, you know, birthing this creation with my hands, Sasha was like, wait, stop, I like it like that. And I was like, okay, do you want this one? And she said, yeah, so I guess that's hers.
Oh, that's cute.
But, yeah, I have 17 cups, so you are free to take whatever.
It was, what, like 14 inches of pot? Was that the thing?
48 inches of pot.
That's way more than I thought it was, okay.
Yeah, 4 feet worth of cups.
Jesus.
And my teacher said, like, if you want to make 48 1-inch cups, go for it. If you want to make one 48-inch cup, go for it. And I'm like, I can't make things well, so I will
love to see a 48-inch cup.
A 4-foot cup. That's wild. I would love to just
sit in it.
I'm thinking of one that's still, like, the same, like, width as a regular cup. It's just really long, which is somehow just, like, super funny.
That's really good. Just a really long cup.
Speaking of, ceramics that you could get inside of, there's a guy that's supposed to be visiting our school to, talk about his practice. He's, like, a ceramics dude. He, like, does pottery and shit. And he's supposed to give a lecture on promoting your artwork on social media, which sounds really interesting, and I definitely want to go to that. But he makes, like, small, like, hand-sized, like, thrown objects, and he also makes giant vases. Like, the picture for, like, the posters around the school, like, advertising for his visit, these pots are massive. You could probably fit 2 of this man in these pots, and I very desperately want to climb into them. Something about pots that you can get in is just so fun.
Something really funny I thought of when you were talking about, like, the 4-foot tall cup was, like, the image of you just standing in a pot, and, like, it's just, like, up to around your, like, chest or shoulder kind of area.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that would be very fun. Like, you just, like, lean over, like, the brick wall from Charlie Brown.
Yeah. I'm not finding the guy's, Instagram, because I looked him up recently, and I don't see it. Oh, well, whatever. We can cut out that part. That served no purpose.
Just like my life.
Nothing has a purpose. Nothing means anything. Just have fun.
I don't need your nihilism. I don't want your nihilism in my Cocoa Puffs.
In your Cocoa Puffs?
I don't know. I was doing, like, a thing of, like, oh, you put your chocolate in my peanut butter. You put your peanut butter in my chocolate. Oh, yeah, like... No? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that landed very well.
It didn't.
Okay,
I really like the goof of, you got your peanut butter in my chocolate. You got your chocolate in my peanut butter. I don't know, I really like that goof. I'm guessing you don't.
I like that goof, but more in the, like, oh, your butt's in my face. It's like, oh, get your face out of my butt. Yeah.
From the movie G-Force.
Was that what that was?
Yeah, it was in the movie G-Force.
That was the one with the guinea pigs, right?
Yeah.
Why?
I think,
why did they make that?
Was Nick Cage the mole?
I never saw that movie.
There was a mole, and it was later revealed that the mole was a mole.
Oh, wow.
Like, he was a double agent, but he was a mole, so it's like, that's clever. And also he's blind, because blind people are funny.
And also he's Nicolas Cage.
I think it was Nicolas Cage. I know Nicolas Cage was in the movie. I'm trying to remember, like...
Oh, I guess, like, we're all caught up, I guess, with our semesters and school stuff, so, let's just talk about what movies we've seen lately.
Let's just jump into it.
Let's just talk about movies, because we're a film podcast, and
the mole is Nicolas Cage.
Really? Oh my god.
Steve Buscemi is a Syrian hamster mistaken for a ferret.
Okay.
Jon Favreau is a guinea pig. Penelope Cruz is a Spanish accented guinea pig. Tracy Morgan's a guinea pig. And Sam Rockwell is the leader of the guinea pigs. What a cast. And the live action cast includes Zach Galifianakis, Bill Nighy, and Will Arnett.
I am also the leader of the guinea pigs.
You sure are.
I am their king. So, like, we're a film podcast, and sometimes when it comes to film making, they make movies. So we'll talk about movies.
We'll talk about movies. Let's just talk about watching films.
So, I'm weird and I honestly hate watching movies, but I've watched more movies.
You absolutely hate watching movies.
I fucking hate watching movies. I really have to just, like, get in the mindset to do so. So, it's been kind of cool that I've watched more than, like, a movie in the past month. I've actually watched quite a few movies recently, so that's cool.
Yeah, that's interesting. I feel like you've watched more movies as of late than I have. So
yeah, I think I have. So, for, I guess a little bit of background as to why I've been having to watch more movies lately is I volunteer at a local LGBT health and like community center, and I'm a youth facilitator for like 13 to 18 year olds, and we host movie night, and yesterday actually was D&D night, so I do both of those events every month, and so I've had to watch 3 movies for that community center so far, because I've been with them for like 2 or 3 months now, and so these kids are obviously like younger, they're like in high school, and so they're definitely like, we watched B Movie, okay? We watched B Movie. That's what I'm getting at.
How was it?
The first movie that we watched was the Lego Movie, and it was wonderful, and I really, really enjoyed that movie, and it was a beautiful, like, flick. It was just really great to look at, and it was very, very funny, and I had a very good time watching it.
I love the Lego Movie so much.
It's very good. And then, like, when I found out that that was the movie that we were watching, I was like, oh, great. I thought we were going to watch, like, B Movie or something. Lo and behold, next fucking month, that's what we watched. And,
Isn't that just how it works out sometimes?
It just, like, be like that sometimes. It be like that. Sometimes. Yeah, that was bad. But because the community center that I volunteer at also offers like health services for like the LGBT community, they also have just like baskets full of condoms in the waiting room. So as a reward for having to endure Jerry Seinfeld for 2 hours, I definitely just like took some condoms home, just like for funsies.
Nice.
Like this is my payment. It's a volunteer position.
Paid in condoms.
Yeah, this is a volunteer position, so I'm not being reimbursed financially, but I will reimburse myself with condoms for you know, having to watch the B Movie with a bunch of 14-year-olds. So
yeah,
I think I think I might have gotten the short end of the stick there. But
okay, I have to ask you, did they all at the same time say you like jazz when Jerry Seinfeld B says you like jazz?
I did.
I know his name is Barry P. Benson, but I refuse to call him that. His name is Jerry Seinfeld B. In the same way that Oscar is named Will Smith Fish. Because
oh my god,
that's just the character. It's just Will Smith as a fish.
It's
It's just the actor playing themselves, but they're an anthropomorphic animal in a DreamWorks movie.
That, like, has the same vibe as, like, referring to a character by, like, the character name and then, like, the show that they're from as their last name. Like
Luke Star Wars.
Like Taco Adventure Zone or Sans Undertale.
Yeah.
That is, like, the funniest shit to me. But,
Winston Overwatch.
The concept of Winston from Overwatch is just very funny.
Yeah.
Oh, and the last movie that I've seen for movie night for the community center was The Outsiders, which I read the book.
Yeah.
I read the book in middle school. We watched the movie in class. It was like for a class, and I remember really, really liking the book. I don't remember the movie very much, but I watched the movie again with the youth at movie night, and it was very, very good, and I very much enjoyed it. So I've seen 3 movies plus some stuff that I've watched with my roommates, so that's also something cool, but that's a more, like, structured, I guess, play-by-play of all the movies that I've seen lately, I suppose.
Yeah.
What have you been watching, friend?
So I've only really watched, like, aside from, some bits from the movies that we have to watch for documentary class, which I haven't seen all the movies yet. Don't tell my professor.
I'm gonna tell your professor.
No, don't. It's fine.
Give me his email.
Oh, maybe I will. Tappity tappity tap.
Give me his email.
Oh no. No, I've only seen 2 movies this year. I keep a list of movies I watch every year in my phone. So at the end of the year, I can go back and be like, oh yeah, I remember watching that movie. That's cool. And I can sort of, like, see how well I remember them, see, like, see if I can remember what I thought of them. Sort of like just like that's a nice little review of the year. The first movie I watched this year, I watched it, I think the day the year started, so I could start the year off right, was Happy Death Day.
Oh, yeah.
Which came out a couple years ago. Look, I didn't see when it came out because I thought the premise looked really stupid, but I saw a trailer a couple months back. I forgot what movie I saw it in front of, but I saw a trailer for it, and I was like, this movie looks brilliant. Like, the sequel to Happy Death Day. The concept alone is just genius. Of, like, it's going through the same events of the movie again. So, the plot of Happy Death Day is, it's Groundhog Day, but it's a slasher movie.
Mm-hmm.
So, she keeps dying and reliving the same day over and over again. And there's a killer out to get her, and whenever she dies, she just wakes up and the day starts again. Until she can figure out, like, who's trying to kill her and, like, stop them before they get to her.
Hey, really quick, this is actually relevant to the podcast, so I think we should keep it in.
Okay.
Holly messaged me on Tumblr and sent me a post, and it's talking about Netflix is starting their own animation studio, and they are hiring, and they're what does it say? The post says, in late 2018, Netflix announced that it would be launching a new in-house animation studio and released a trailer showcasing their impressive roster of leading artists. The released a trailer bit is like an embedded link, so you can watch that, I guess, if you Google it.
That's cool.
Showcasing their impressive roster of leading artists, including Shion Takeuchi, Alex Hirsch of Gravity Falls,
Oh, wow.
Elizabeth Ito, and legends like James Baxter. Wow, okay.
Wow, that's cool.
Glenn Keane and Craig McCracken of Wander Over Yonder, Powerpuff Girls, and Foster's Home.
Wow, that's awesome.
That's fucking dope. Open positions include storyboard artist, background painter and designer, character designer, line producer, and more. View all currently available positions here.
That's super cool.
Even though the available job pool is small, applying now may result in contact at a later date. As Netflix animation grows, more positions will become available, so check the website occasionally, blah, 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 blah. That's fucking cool, and I think we should leave that in because that seems relevant to this.
Yeah, that's supremely cool. Real quick, because he said James Baxter, it made me think of something he's done recently. Have you seen that bit from Steven Universe that's going around that James Baxter animated?
Yes, I've seen the one clip where it suddenly kicks up
Gets
to like 60
incredibly
FPS.
fluid.
Yes.
Yeah, it's so beautiful. like, also in the context of the episode, like, it's such a beautiful, like, emotional moment.
Yeah.
But when I was watching it, like, as it was happening, I was just floored by, like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here
James
we go.
Baxter's really cool. He did, do you know the part of the Gravity Falls opening where I think it's like Dipper drops the candle?
Dipper drops the candle and does, like, a little
he, like, fumbles a
motion.
bunch? Yeah. That's James Baxter.
He also did a couple episodes of Adventure Time where he also voiced a horse on a beach ball named James Baxter.
That's really funny.
And the joke is that whenever James Baxter's around, everything is better, which is like, he just makes everything better, and it's a very funny, like, kind of joke.
I thought,
but it's just a horse, and he just goes James Baxter, but it is James Baxter voicing him.
That's hilarious. I haven't seen this episode, but I think I've seen like
there's 2 episodes.
Okay, I think I've seen like a post talking about it, and I thought, from what I gathered from the 2 posts that I saw of it, from what I gathered, the joke was that the animation for the horse was just like unsettlingly smooth, like compared to everything else. Which is really funny.
Yeah, it's very good. That was one of those like guest animator Adventure Time episodes, which they do every now and then.
Yeah.
Well, not anymore because the show's over, but Adventure Time is very good. Anyway, Happy Death Day.
Yeah.
Go back around to that. And the sequel idea. You dropped your microphone.
I did, in fact, do that.
This is so unprofessional. The sequel, Happy Death Day to You, which is very good. I love it when sequels use, like, the number in the title.
Yeah, that is very funny.
Like, Madagascar Escape to Africa.
Yes.
That's a good example. Or Shrek Forever After.
Huh. I forgot Shrek did that.
Yeah, I don't think it's, like, as intentional. I don't think they put the number in the title like that, but it is definitely, like, meant to be, like, okay. Or The Fate of the Furious, which was the 8th Fast and Furious movie.
What if they spelled it Feight?
That'd be so funny.
Like fate, but it's spelled like the number 8.
There's a pot.
That would look horrible. That would really not read very well.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like a lot of people would be like, the figgot?
The fight? Real quick, one of my favorite podcasts to listen to is The Weekly Planet. It's an Australian podcast about comic book movies and things like that and whatever. They do a concurrent segment every now and then called Hate Mail, but the hate has an 8 in it. Okay. Which is the full title of the segment.
That's really funny.
Yeah, and it's where they read 8 pieces of hate mail. But it's never 8 pieces of hate mail. It's always like 7 or 9. It's always like either a little bit less than 8 or it's a little bit more than 8. So the title's irrelevant. And I think that's very funny.
That is funny. So Happy Death Day to You.
Yeah, okay, so we get so off topic. Happy Death Day to You is like a killer's targeting one of her friends in the same manner. And when and then eventually she gets killed by that killer, and she wakes up and it's the day from the first movie again. So it's repeating the first movie, but it's different. The killer's a different person, and it's like there's a whole new mystery. Apparently they're gonna explain like why there's a time loop in the first place in this one. Like they actively like didn't explain why in the first one, so they could like explain it in the sequel, which I think is interesting. And like it's playing up more of the comedy in the second one, I think. More of like it's sort of like the suicide montage from Groundhog Day, but as a whole movie and more funny, which I think is interesting.
Okay, I have not seen Groundhog Day.
Okay, so there's a bit in Groundhog Day where basically he realizes that the only way to get out of the loop is to change and become a better person, and he kind of decides it's not worth it, so he just keeps trying different ways to kill himself to try and get out of the loop. He would because the character would rather die than change who he is, which I think is a very interesting like point about like men in general. I think. Yeah.
Men just be like that.
Yeah, because it is Bill Murray's the main character. And so like there's a bit of like, he takes the groundhog, like Puxatawny Phil, and like he like just drives off a cliff and it explodes, or like
That sounds hilarious.
yeah, but it gets a bit like serious and kind of sad where he just like straight up jumps off a building.
Jeez.
And does like it's kind of heavy. It's like how like at the end of Act 2 you're supposed to hit rock bottom.
Yeah.
Like is the idea. Yeah, that's pretty much his rock bottom. It's just this kind of funny but kind of hilarious montage of Bill Murray killing himself in different ways.
And kidnapping a gopher.
A groundhog, excuse you.
There was a guy in my ceramics class that got real heated over the idea of Groundhog Day. He thought it was the stupidest goddamn thing. It was really funny.
Look, it's not a very important holiday, but I don't care. I think it's fun.
Yeah, it's harmless. Also the fact
I'd much rather celebrate Knuckles' birthday, which is also on Groundhog Day.
Ah, yeah.
If Knuckles sees his shadow, it means the next Sonic game is good.
That was a good joke. Also, the fact that this motherfucker's name is Puxatawny Phil is just really funny to me.
The main character of Groundhog Day, played by Bill Murray, also named Phil, which I think is very clever. I think that's fun. I like it. Right. I think it's fun.
Yeah, alright, I'll allow it.
Yeah, I like it. But yeah, I saw Happy Death Day. I was kind of going into it of like, alright, this is either going to be really stupid or really genius. And it's definitely both, but I think it's like very fun and like enjoyable.
Does it seem like self-aware?
Parts of it do. Parts of it seem like very like, no, this is like, we're taking this very seriously. And other parts of it are like, nah, let's just have a little fun with it.
Yeah, that's cool.
There is a part at the end, which made me kind of roll my eyes a bit, where someone's like, oh, it's like the movie Groundhog Day. And the main character's like, what? I've never heard of that movie. It's like, okay, you're trying to lampshade it, but not very well.
I've definitely heard of that movie, even if I haven't seen it. I think everybody's heard of that movie.
Yeah, like they're trying to play it off of like, oh, we're not ripping off Groundhog Day, wink. You know,
wink.
Like, it's very forced, but I'm very excited for the second one because, like that first movie is very fun. I love it. I think it's worth everyone's time. I'm very excited for the second one. The other movie I saw recently was Fire Fraud on Hulu, which is a very interesting documentary, a very funny documentary about Fire Festival, which happened a couple years ago.
Oh, yeah. I remember you were telling me about this. Didn't you say that there's also a Fire Festival documentary on Netflix, but it's like sketchy?
It's made by like one of the producers of the movie is like one of the people involved with Fire Festival.
Yeah, that sounds non-biased and like real.
It sort of plays up, from what I've heard, it plays up more of the, it didn't end up being very well, but they did try their best. And the Hulu documentary is more, no they didn't.
Yeah.
Like the straight up, like they straight up like say that the dude behind Firefest is like a con man, straight up.
Yeah.
And he's in the documentary being interviewed. Like he and his girlfriend are being interviewed in the documentary. And there's a bit where like the interviewer asks him like it was something like are you a compulsive liar or something like that. And he just says, I need to take a minute. And he just like walks out which
that's
like
really
that's
weird.
An answer.
Yeah.
That's an answer, I feel. Like, that's one of those situations where, like, not answering the question is answering the question.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it's a very interesting documentary. And it's also very funny because, like, it just shows how much stupidity is behind, like, what's behind Fire Festival and, like, the other things that this dude has done. And also, like, kind of making a little bit of fun of the millennial generation as a whole, of, like, influencer culture and like social media, like in not in a like, oh, we spend too much time on our phones kind of way, but in a, man, people really were willing to spend like actual hundreds of thousands of dollars to go to a music festival, and it was just nothing.
Yeah, influencer
No music acts
culture
were
is
at.
just so weird.
It really is.
I don't get it, especially people who refer to themselves as influencers. Like, I would prefer content creator rather than an influencer.
Me too. But also, like, not all influencers are content creators necessarily.
Yeah, sometimes they're just, like, attractive, and that's kind of it.
Yeah, like, I don't know, would Kylie Jenner really be considered, like, a content creator?
No, she just exists. That's pretty much it.
She just exists and, like advertises on Instagram.
Yeah, like makeup and shit.
Yeah. Was it Kylie or Kendall who did the Pepsi commercial from, like, last year or the year before?
You greatly overestimate how much I know about these people.
Okay, that's fair.
Really don't know, but I know what you're talking about. I just don't know who it is.
Okay, cool. That was one of the funniest things in the world. But yeah, Fire Fraud on Hulu is very interesting, and I highly recommend that. Also, just in general, watch Popstar, because Popstar is very funny.
With Jake Peralta as, like,
yeah, with Jake Peralta as Connor for real.
Oh, that is his name, huh? I remember you telling us about that movie.
His, like, birth name is Connor Friel.
Okay.
Which I think is fun. But yeah, he's sort of a Justin Bieber, Macklemore, like, he's kind of a combination of, like, every, like, major pop star from the time, which I think is very clever. Like, there's some very obvious parallels to, like, Justin Bieber. There's, like, a bit where, like, there's a bit where, like, his manager walks up to him. His manager's played by, Sarah, oh my god, what's her name? Sarah Silverman, I think is her name.
I've never seen the movie. I have no idea.
Yeah. Anyway, his manager, like, comes up to him and is like, "Connor, did you take a shit in the Anne Frank house?" And it, like, cuts to him at, like, the Anne Frank house, like, some, like, cell phone footage of him, and he just, like, standing outside of a bathroom and going, "Do not go in there." Woo! You know, like, being a total jackass, and it's kind of, like, supposed to be like a...
Yeah, I definitely remember what they were talking about there. That's really funny.
Yeah. It's a reference to Justin Bieber's metaphorical shit in the Anne Frank house, where he said that she would be a believer.
Well, I guess we're going to call it for today's episode. We'll be kind of developing more of a pattern for how often we're going to be uploading episodes and, like, what days of the week that they're going to be on. We'll workshop that a little bit more in the future. But, yeah, so I guess we're just going to keep going on from there and continuing talking about stuff that we're working on. If any of you listening have any ideas for topics to discuss, or maybe, like, you want us to help you with a project of yours, or maybe, like, send us questions, we can help you with that, or talk about it on the show.
Comment below, tweet at us, send us an email.
Oh yeah, we need to make a Twitter for this account, for this, like...
Honestly, like, I'm cool with just using, like,
just
my
ours.
Twitter.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. So we can mention our Twitters. So I'm on Twitter at Gouacheboy, GOUACHE_boy, BOY, sorry. And Jessie?
I am at Twitter at I'm okay at things. I'm on Instagram at Grinch_fat. If you want to follow me there.
I'm also on Instagram at Gouacheboy as well, but with a period instead of an underscore. So you can find me there. I'm much more active there than Twitter, honestly. So if you want to... I'm very
active on Twitter and not very active on Instagram, but I'll, like, you know, respond to likes and comments and whatever and messages. Just don't be weird and personal, you know.
Yeah, don't be weird.
Don't message me and be like, "Hey, here's my wiener."
Yeah, I don't want to see your wiener, thank you.
I've had enough of that from Grindr. Thank you.
Oh my god. Okay, so I guess we'll be signing off for today. Thank you for listening, and we will see you next time.
Thank you for listening, and watch Happy Death Day.
That was the moral of the story. Watch Happy Death Day.
The moral of the story is watch Happy Death Day.
Alright. Peace out.
Bye, guys. No? Leo shaking his head in this audio medium. He is communicating with visual expressions. He's giving me the finger. And he's crying. He's crying as he gives me the finger. Oh no, a shark just rose from the ocean and ate his finger off.
What the fuck?
It's an audio medium. I can say whatever's happening.